Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you the corner to corner crochet, also known as C2C. It's a very easy but versatile technique. Here I used it to make a gorgeous baby blanket, and it's just worked with treble stitches or double crochet in the US. Without further ado, let me show you how to work corner to corner. First of all, let's start with our usual starting knot. And then we work 6 chains. Right, now count 3 chains before the hook and insert the hook into the 4th chain and work a treble. And then we will work a treble in the remaining 2 chains. So now our first square of the C2C sample is ready. Now turn your work and work 6 more chains. The difference here compared to standard crochet is that we will start from the corner, work the first square, and then work diagonally instead of going back and forth horizontally. Count again 3 chains from the hook and work a treble in the 4th chain. And then again, 1 more treble in each and every chain. So in total, we will have 3 more trebles in the first, or actually the unworked 3 chains. Now locate the space between the 3 unworked chains of the previous row and the very first treble. So insert the hook right in the space and slip stitch, and then again work 3 chains and 3 trebles. So in this way, you have basically 2 little squares diagonally as your second row, just like this. Turn again your work, chain 6, and then work a treble stitch in the 4th chain from hook, just like this, and then 1 more treble stitch in the next 2 chains. Now skip the 3 trebles of the row below. I'm showing you now. Insert the hook right after the 3 trebles and in the space before the 3 chains. Work a slip stitch, then work 3 chains and 3 trebles in the chain space. Just like this. Again, skip the 3 trebles below, enter the hook in the chain space, chain 3, and then work 3 more trebles in the last chain space. There you go. As you can see, your 3rd row is done, and you have 3 squares, 3 little squares on one side and 3 on the other one. Now turn your work again, and we start a new row again by working 6 chains. So every time we start a new row, we chain 6, and then we work the first treble in the 4th chain from the hook, and then 1 more treble in the following 2, in the next 2 chains, like I'm doing now. We skip again the trebles after, we slip stitch in the next chain space, we chain 3, and we work 3 trebles. just like this. We skip the trebles below, we insert the hook in the next chain space, slip stitch, chain 3, whoops, let me grab some more yarn, and then we work 3 trebles, we skip the last 3 trebles of the row below. Again, we insert the hook in the chain space, we slip stitch, chain 3, and work 3 trebles in the chain space. So as you can see, this is in fact a very simple technique. All you need to remember is that every time you start a new row and you want to increase the width of your work, of your project, you chain 6, but then instead within the row you only chain 3 to make a new square. Things slightly change if you want to stop increasing on one side. So imagine you want to make something rectangular like a blanket. So at some point you will need to start decreasing on one side. In which case, to start a new row, you only chain 3 because in fact we're not adding another square on that side. So you chain 3 and you immediately slip stitch in the chain space, and then you work the 3 trebles in the chain space. Then you skip the next trebles, you slip stitch in the next chain space, you chain 3, you work 3 trebles in the chain space, and then you continue working your row as usual. You can meet me at the end of this row. There you go, our 5th row is done. As you can see, we have 5 little squares on one side, but only 4 on the other one because we started decreasing on that side. So you see here we started kind of closing the rectangular shape. Now we start a new row with 6 chains because we want to continue in length on this side. So we work 6 chains and then we work 1 treble in the 4th chain from hook as usual. And then we work 1 more treble in the next 2 chains. We slip stitch in the next chain space, we chain 3, and then we work 3 trebles in the same chain space. Again, we slip stitch in the chain space, we chain 3, we work 3 more trebles to make another little square. We slip stitch in the next chain space, chain 3, 3 trebles, and we slip stitch in the last chain space. So again, this is the side where we are decreasing, right? You can see it clearly how we are developing the rectangular shape. So here we need to continue decreasing, right? So now we turn our work, we only chain 3, and we slip stitch directly in the chain space after the 3 trebles. Slip stitch, we chain 3, we work 3 trebles in the same chain space, and then we insert the hook in the chain space, we slip stitch, we chain 3, we work 3 trebles, we just continue like we did so far. We slip stitch in the next chain space. You see the rectangular is coming up, right? We are progressing on both sides, but one side we are increasing length, the other one we are not. We are just keeping the rectangular shape. We chain 3, we work 3 trebles, and now I want to start decreasing on this side too, because I want to close the rectangular shape completely. So I'll start decreasing on this side as well. So I turn my work and I do 3 chains instead of 6. And then I slip stitch in the chain space. Yeah, you see I'm also decreasing on this side, right? So I'm progressively moving towards the corner which is opposite across to the one we started from. So I chain 3, I work 3 trebles, I work 3 trebles in the chain space, yeah, like this. I slip stitch in the next chain space, chain 3, I work 3 more trebles here, 2 and 3, and then I work slip stitch in the last chain space to finish off this row. Yeah, I should have turned my work first. So as you can see, the row that I just finished only has 2 squares and my shape is almost done. So after turning your work, chain 3 and slip stitch in the chain space, chain 3, and then work 3 trebles in the chain space, and then you slip stitch in the last chain space. And this is how we finish off your shape, your sample. And this is how you work C2C, corner to corner. You can apply this technique to pretty much anything. This is how I used the C2C technique to make a very beautiful baby blanket. Here I also used some color variation to make some sort of a rainbow blanket. If you want to learn how I made it, you can find the link to my pattern below in the comments.
Hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Thank you for watching.